guys, thank you for tuning into my Cocoa Divalicious YouTube channel featuring moi, Chef Indy. Chef Indigo for some, but Chef Indy is okay too. Today's recipe is the famed chocolate chip cookie. And you're probably wondering why I'm saying famed. Well, there's an urban legend behind this cookie, and some of you guys already probably know where I'm going with what I'm about to talk about when it comes to this cookie. Well, it seems that a lady and her daughter were dining in a high-end retail store. And after they had their meal, they decided they wanted to have a little dessert. Well, of course, the store was known for its chocolate chip cookies, so she decided her and her daughter would get one and split it. Well, everything that they had heard about the cookie was absolutely true. The cookie was, it was over the top delicious. So when the waitress came to present the check, the lady asked if she could have a copy of the recipe, and the waitress says, I'm afraid not. It's not, we don't just give out the recipe. She says, well, can I buy it? This cookie is so good. I like to go home and replicate this recipe and share it with my friends. Well, the waitress said, well, sure, you can buy it. Of course, she was thinking about her commission. So the lady said, well, how much is the recipe? She said, $2.50. Oh, well, I can afford that. Go ahead and put that on my check. So that's what happened. A couple of weeks later, when the bill came in and the lady saw that her bill was almost $300, she was like, well, from this retailer, she said, wait a minute, I didn't spend $300. What did I spend $300 for? So she saw the food that she had paid for or purchased in the cafe, and then she saw the scarf that she had purchased, but then she saw the price for the recipe, which was $250. Well, she was outraged. I don't know how I would have felt. I can't really tell you, but she was outraged. So she called the main office or the billing department for this retailer, and she asked them, I didn't want to purchase this recipe for this amount. I want my money back. Well, they told her, well, ma'am, I'm sorry. We can't do that because the recipe that you purchased was exclusive to our store and exclusive to our customers. So you purchased it. Well, the waitress told me it was $2.50. That's what she snapped back with. And so I guess the person, the customer service rep says, well, I'm sorry. And you know what she says? Well, since you won't take it back, I guess I'll go ahead and share it. And they said, please, ma'am, please don't share the recipe because it's proprietary to our store and to our customers. Well, she says, well, you don't want to pay me my money back, so now it's proprietary to me, and I'm going to share it with far and wide with everybody I can. Well, I don't know when this story was born because it's an urban legend. Could have been born 10 years ago, well, more than 10 because I received the recipe 11 years ago. 11, that's right, 11, and it has been my go-to recipe ever since. But anyway, back to the story. This recipe has grown, and I'm sure some of you guys probably already have the recipe and maybe never tried it. But today we're going to be cooking it in my kitchen. We're actually going to be preparing it in my kitchen, and we're going to bake on a batch. And let me tell you, again, this cookie is over the top delicious. So stay tuned. I have the cookie dough ready right here, and I'm going to prepare the pan, and then I'm going to scoop some cookies out. I'm going to use a two ounce scoop, but there are a couple of other things that you can do to make your cookies come out pretty evenly. So you can roll them, or you can drop them by spoons. I am back. I have put my cookies in the oven, and the recipe calls for the cookies to bake for about 10 minutes, but ovens vary, so it could be longer, it could be shorter. But so that I can be safe and not end up with burned cookies, I'm going to, look at this. Is this cute or what? You see that little timer? Oh my gosh, it is so adorable. I am going to set my timer for 7 minutes, and I'm going to let my cookies bake. And then I'm going to go ahead and check them again. If they have not quite gotten to the stage that I like to see a cookie browned at, I'm going to set it for another 3 minutes. And that should be about enough time to bake them, but I may need 1 minute or 2 less. It depends. Again, ovens do vary, so you have to be very careful. You want to get a timer. If you don't have a timer on your stove, buy yourself a timer. Always set it and always keep it within earshot so that when it goes off, it's telling you need to go back over to your stove. Because a burnt cookie is not going to work after you put in all the work to, mix it up, and you spent half of your afternoon trying to get the recipe right. You don't want a burnt cookie. You don't want anything burned, okay? And now my house has sprinklers. I don't know, I'm in a more modern place, so I have the sprinkler system, so I could be up in here and things start smoking, acting like they're going to burn down, and then everything in here gets wet. So I have a timer on my stove, but I also like to have a visual timer, something that's going to make a little bit of noise while I'm moving around in the kitchen, because I could get distracted. So I'll be back because I cannot wait. As a matter of fact, while I am waiting for the cookies to bake, I'm going to go fix me a small pot of coffee so I can have a chocolate chip cookie and some coffee. I just cannot wait. So stay tuned. Be right back. Cookies, baby. Yes, indeed. They are getting nice and brown. Okay guys, the cookies are ready. I'm excited and I am hungry, because I'm telling you, once you get these cookies in the oven and they start smelling up your house, you smell that chocolate happening and all the sweetness and goodness coming together, you're going to be like, can't wait. So I'm going to go ahead and plate the cookies up on this beautiful, cute little plate that I purchased a couple of weeks ago. It's enough for about a dozen, close to a dozen cookies. So I'm going to go ahead and plate those up. But I got this recipe in my email box. I was like, okay, I'm going to try this recipe. I was fresh out of culinary school, and I was looking at all kinds of recipes, just knowing, okay, it's time for me to create something. And chocolate chip cookies, something I wanted to do. I never made my own chocolate chip cookies. We did make chocolate chip cookies in class while I was in culinary school, but this recipe was different because it had oatmeal in it. It also had your favorite chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate candy bar, and now 12 years later, there's so many different varieties you can use. You can jazz this up if you want. You can do a lot with this recipe. So, let your imagination go wild, but stick to the basics. If you're going to add any additional ingredients to the recipe, make sure that those ingredients aren't wet. You don't want a wet ingredient because you already have the base for that cookie. Okay? And here we go. Chocolate chip cookies, y'all. I hate to tell you, but I'm going to get down in a minute. I have my It's Good to Be Queen cup right here. Yes, and I'm going to fill this with some nice hot coffee, and I'm going to sit down. I'm going to grab a couple of these cookies, and I'm going to put my feet up, and I'm going to enjoy. What I'd like for you to do is take a look at the bottom, subscribe, but also the recipe is here with the step-by-step instructions. This recipe is really easy to put together. You do your wet, get that set up, and then you do your dry, and then you just bring it all together. Scoop and bake. And remember, a chocolate chip cookie is a chocolate chip cookie is a chocolate chip cookie. But you can't judge them all because they all have their different style. This one you're going to add to your forever recipe file. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in.